Okay, welcome to Percent Applications Assessment RETEACH. We're now on page 3, which begins with question number 8. Aaron wants to purchase a new video game. The table below shows the regular price and the discount at 2 stores. Which store has the lowest price for the video game? So let's first look. I have a regular price item at $50. And I'm going to save 20%. So I set my percent bar up. I know that 50 is the total, which is the same as 100%. And I like for my percents to go on bottom. And I'm saving 20%. And then I do X. Now this one's a little bit easier because you can think of a number that would get you from 20 to 100. If I just multiply 20 times 100, 20 times 5, I can get to 100. So if I can see a shortcut like this, I don't have to do all the multiplication and division. You can do it, absolutely, but this is just a shorter, quicker way to do it. So up top, I need to figure out what number I can multiply by 5 to give me 50. Well, if I'm not sure, I can think backwards and do division. I could say 100 divided by 5 is 20. And 50 divided by 5 is 10. So now my discount is $10. Remember that we always subtract our discount. So now Games for You offers the video game at $40. So now let's look at World of Games. World of Games has the regularly priced item for $45, but their discount is only 10%. So I'm going to set up my proportion. I'm going to put money on top, percent on bottom. The whole thing is 100. And I'm saving 10%. This little bitty guy. The regular price is $45. Now I remember that Miss Davis told me, or Miss Ortega, or Mr. Loftus, that if you want to get from 100 to 10, you can just divide by 10. So if I do that up top, I divide by 10. Now if you're not sure, you can actually do the division. It goes in there 4 times. Remember, you don't want a remainder, so you add a decimal and a 0. And my answer is 4.5 or $4.50. Now that's my discount. It was originally $45. My discount is $4.50. Now notice that I lined up my numbers. There was not a decimal on the number 45. So if it's out of sight, you stick it to the right. So I'm going to put it right there. And now I'm going to subtract to find my difference. I'm going to find out that I actually paid $40.50 at the World of Games. So the question wants to know, where did I get the lowest price? Games for You was 40. World of Games was $40.50. So I can tell that $40 is cheaper or less expensive or lower than $40.50. So my answer would be A, Games for You. Alright, number 9. Coffee costs $15 per pound. When I think of per, I'm thinking multiply or I'm thinking 1. So $15 for 1 pound. Due to an increase in the price of coffee beans, the producers have raised their prices 8%. How much does the coffee cost now? So again, I'm going to draw my percent bar. $15 is the price. That is 100% of the price. But now I only want to know 8%. So again, just a tiny sliver. And there's my unknown. So now I do my cross products. 8 times 15 equals 100x. So when I multiply 8 times 15, I get 120 equals 100x. Now I need to get my variable by itself, so I divide both sides by 100. These guys cancel out. I can cancel out those zeros. So now I really have 12 being divided by 10. 10 goes into 12 one time. I don't want a remainder, so I put a decimal and a 0. 10 goes into 20 2 times. Now again, it's money. So do we want to stop at 1.2? Probably not. But if we add a 0 to the end, it does not change the number. Now the question says, how much does the coffee cost now? Well, I know that the coffee increased, which means that I have to add. So I have the original price, which was $15. I add the 8%, which was $1.20. So now the new price of coffee is $16.20. Now I have to be super careful when I'm bubbling. So the 6 goes immediately before the decimal. The 2 goes immediately after the decimal, and then I just fill in. I also want to make sure that I'm bubbling the numbers below. Now, you'll notice that there's a new form on the Griddable, a plus and minus. If your answer is positive, which ours is, you can leave it blank, or you can bubble in the plus. If it's negative, you would want to bubble in the negative. But because it's positive, I'm just going to leave it alone. All right, question number 10. Which proportion is equivalent? Equivalent just means equal to the following. Now, I remember there are a lot of different ways to set up proportions. The main pattern that you want to recognize is, are the two numbers that are across from each other the same? So no matter how I set it up, 12 must always be across from 2. X must always be across from 5. So if I look at A, X is across from 12. Is that a red flag? Yes. On B, 2 is across from 12, which that's okay. And X is across from 15. Is that okay? That one looks good. On C, 12 is across from X. Is that okay? No. On D, 12 is across from 5. Is that okay? No. So now I can go back and confidently say that my answer is B because I checked all the answers to make sure there was not a better choice. All right, question 11. What proportion could be used to find the answer to the following problem? Well, now this time they didn't give me a proportion, but it's about percents, so I know that I'm going to draw a percent bar. I know that percent is always out of 100. Now, you can have more than 100%, but for the bar to be complete, it's 100. The question says, what percent, so I don't know my percent, is 21 of 30. Remember, of is your total, so 30 is your total. 21 is my number, and I know that 21 is pretty close to 30. I don't know my variable, so I'm going to put an X. Now, there are a lot of different ways to write this. I could say 21 over 30 equals X over 100. I could say 21 over X equals 30 over 100. I could turn it and say 21 over 30, X over 100. I could flip it. There are lots of ways. The most important thing that I want to do when I'm checking this is check the cross multiplication answers. So I know that 30 has to be across from X. So if I look at A, 30 across from X, oh, that looks good. On B, 30 is across from 100. Nope, I know that's wrong. On C, 21 is across from 30. Not right. And D, 100 is across from 30. I know that's also incorrect. The only one that makes any sense is answer choice A. Stay tuned if you need help on the last page of this test.